let's talk about scope. What is scope? Well, scope is a set of nested containers, and the outer container is the shell itself. So this shell that you're looking at over here is a global scope, and anything I do in this is in the global scope. If I write a script and then I run the script from inside this shell, then that's the script scope. And then if I write functions inside of that script, then it's a private scope. Alright, what is going on and what happens? Why do we care, and why does all this matter? Well, scope affects aliases, variables, and functions that I might write. If I create a variable, for example, as you saw here, my var equals Roger, and I create it here inside this shell, it's available to all other commands inside that shell. It's available to all the scripts that I might run inside the shell, and it's available to any functions that I write inside that shell. However, if I write it within a script, if I actually go to the scripting, to the ISE, and create a script and write a variable inside of that script, it's only available to that script and to any functions inside that script. However, once that script completes running, that variable goes away. And so here in this shell window, that scope is or that variable would no longer be available to me for use in other commands. So that's how these things work, is that once this container closes, once that container goes away, that variable, alias, or function goes away and is no longer available to the others. So if I want something, if I want a variable, for example, to be available to everything, I need to make sure that I declare that thing in this window itself, in the shell window, not inside of a script or inside of a function. The other interesting thing these things do is how PowerShell looks for them. So if I create a function and I call a variable, well, it looks to see whether I declared that variable here in the function first. If I didn't, then it looks in the script that that function is running in, if indeed I have a script that it's running in. And if not, it will look out into the shell itself to see if it's there. So that means if I declare a variable out here, but I change the variable inside one of these others, it will stay in the smallest container, and it will be whatever the smallest container called it to be, not what is out here. So there's an order in which PowerShell looks at these to see what the definition of that alias, that variable, or that function is.